The sound isn't loud, but it cuts through your dreams like a razor blade. It's 6:30 a.m. The alarm on your phone is vibrating against the nightstand. That specific, rhythmic buzzing, you know the sound. You hate the sound. For a split second, your brain is still free, floating in the dark, untethered, peaceful. And then reality crashes in. The weight of the day lands on your chest before you've even opened your eyes. You hit snooze, not because you need 9 more minutes of sleep, but because you need 9 more minutes of you before you have to become them. This is the first sign, the physical rejection of your own life. You lie there in the grey light of the morning, staring at the ceiling, and you feel it. That tightness in your stomach, that subtle, low-level hum of anxiety that never quite goes away. You aren't thinking about the opportunities of the day. You aren't thinking about what you're going to build or create or experience. You are running a calculation, a mental spreadsheet. If I get up now, I have 20 minutes for coffee. If I leave by 7:15, I beat the traffic. If I beat the traffic, I can sit in the parking lot for 5 minutes of silence before I walk through the doors. You are already negotiating. You are already bargaining with your own time. You drag your body out of the bed you paid for with 40 hours of last week's life. You walk into the bathroom you pay to heat, using the water you pay to pump. You look in the mirror. Look closely. The eyes staring back at you are tired, not body tired, soul tired. There is a dullness there, a glazing over. It's the look of an animal that has been in the zoo just a little too long. It remembers the wild, but it has forgotten how to hunt. You brush your teeth. You put on the costume. Maybe it's a suit, maybe it's a uniform, maybe it's just business casual. It doesn't matter. It's the livery of the servant. You are dressing yourself to be acceptable to the system that owns your daylight hours. Walk to the car. This is where the financial matrix really starts to flex its muscles. You get into the vehicle. You probably have a car payment on it, a monthly subscription to mobility. You are driving a machine you don't fully own, to a job you don't fully like, to pay for the house you almost never see because you are always at the job or in the car. Look at the other cars on the highway. Rows and rows of steel boxes, red lights, brake lights, everyone moving in the same direction at the same time. It looks like flow, but it's actually containment. You are all cattle moving through the chute. And inside every single one of those cars is a person just like you, someone who traded their dreams for security and ended up with neither. You turn on a podcast, you turn on the radio. You need noise, you need distraction. Because if you drove in silence, if you actually let your mind sit in the quiet for 30 minutes, the screaming would start. The internal screaming that says, "This isn't it. This cannot be it." So you drown it out. You numb the signal. You arrive, you park, you swipe the badge. That beep, that electronic chirp as the door unlocks, that is the sound of you selling your autonomy for the day. For the next 8, 9, 10 hours, you are not a human being with desires and fears and potential. You are a resource. You are a row in a spreadsheet. You are a battery plugging itself into the machine to keep the lights on for someone else's empire. And you do it willingly. You sit down at the desk, you open the email, and the numbness takes over. You operate on autopilot. You say the words. Per our last discussion. Moving the needle. Circling back. It's a script. You are an actor in a play you didn't write, reciting lines you don't believe for an audience that doesn't care. Why? Why do you do this? You tell yourself it's for the money. You tell yourself you're being responsible. You're a productive member of society. Wrong. You are doing it because you are mentally trapped in the financial matrix. You have been conditioned to believe that this exchange, your finite, irretrievable time for fiat currency, is not only necessary, but virtuous. You have been taught that suffering is the rent you pay for existence. But here is the uncomfortable truth that hits you when you look at your bank account at the end of the month. The math doesn't work. It never works. No matter how hard you run, the horizon moves further away. You get a raise, and your expenses rise to meet it. You get a bonus, and the car breaks down. You get a promotion, and the stress doubles while the happiness halves. You are running on a treadmill that is designed to drain you. The system isn't broken. The system is working exactly as it was designed. It is designed to keep you just comfortable enough not to revolt and just scared enough not to quit. It keeps you in the Goldilocks zone of anxiety. And deep down, beneath the layers of rationalization and the distractions of Netflix and the weekends of numbing yourself with alcohol or shopping, you know it. You feel it in your gut every Sunday night. That dread, that sinking feeling as the sun goes down, that isn't just the blues. That is your spirit screaming in terror at the prospect of returning to the cage. You are trapped, and the first step to breaking out is admitting that you are in a prison that you cannot see, smell, or touch, a prison for your mind. You walk through the glass doors. The air conditioning hits your face. It's the same temperature as yesterday. It's the same smell, the sanitized scent of industrial carpet cleaner and stale coffee. You see a colleague. Let's call him Dave. Dave is wearing a shirt that looks just like yours. Dave is holding a coffee cup just like yours. "Morning, Dave. How are you?" you ask. "Living the dream," Dave says. He chuckles, a dry, hollow sound. You chuckle back. "Another day in paradise." Stop. Rewind that interaction. Did you actually care how Dave was? No. Did Dave actually believe he was living the dream? Absolutely not. You just performed a handshake protocol. You just executed a line of code in the social operating system. You are two non-player characters in a video game, triggering the same dialogue tree you triggered last Tuesday. This is the good citizen script, and you recite it perfectly. You sit at your desk. You open the spreadsheet. You start moving numbers from column A to column B. You are being productive. You are being a team player. But look at the deeper pattern. Look at the economic loop you are currently powering. You are working this job to pay for the car. Why do you need the car? To get to this job. You are working to pay for the clothes on your back. Why do you need those specific, uncomfortable clothes? To look professional at this job. You are paying for the house in the suburbs. Why do you live in the suburbs? Because it's the only place you can afford a house big enough to store all the stuff you buy to make yourself feel better about having to work this job. It is a closed loop, a perfect circle, and you are the hamster running inside the wheel, thinking you are climbing a mountain. The financial matrix relies on one specific mechanism to keep you running, the illusion of choice. You think you are free because you can choose between 30 different brands of cereal. You can choose between a Ford and a Toyota. You can choose between Netflix and Hulu. But you cannot choose not to consume. The script forbids it. You break for lunch. You don't pack a lunch. Who has time for that? You are too exhausted from the morning commute and the morning meeting, so you go out. You spend $15 on a salad that costs 50 cents to make. You swipe the card. That beep again. You feel a tiny hit of dopamine, a little spark. "I earned this," you tell yourself. "I work hard. I deserve a nice lunch." Do you hear that? That voice in your head. That is the matrix talking. It has trained you to treat spending money as the only valid reward for making money. It has wired your brain to believe that the cure for the pain of labor is the pleasure of consumption. So you eat your $15 salad, you scroll through your phone, you see an ad for a vacation, a beach in Mexico, white sand, blue water. "Escape," the ad says. "God, I need that," you think. So you work harder. You stay late. You hustle for the bonus. You need the bonus so you can pay for the week in Mexico, where you will spend 7 days trying to forget the other 51 weeks of the year. You are buying your own temporary parole. The system loves a good citizen like you. You have a credit score, don't you? You're proud of it. A 750, maybe even an 800. You wear that number like a badge of honor. I am responsible, you tell yourself. I pay my debts. Let's translate that. A high credit score doesn't measure your wealth. It doesn't measure your financial freedom. It measures your compliance. It measures how good you are at being a profitable debtor for the banks. It is a ranking system for how well you can be milked without going dry. You are the perfect battery, reliable, predictable, safe. And if you ever think about stepping out of line, if you ever think, maybe I don't need the new car, maybe I'll drive a beater and save the money, the script corrects you. Your friends, other prisoners in the matrix, will look at you with concern. Is everything okay? They'll ask. Are you having money trouble? Because in the financial matrix, frugality is seen as failure. If you aren't upgrading, you are degrading. If you aren't consuming more this year than you did last year, something is wrong. So you buy the new phone. Your old one worked fine, but the battery was getting a little slow, and the camera wasn't 4K, and everyone else has the 3 lenses on the back. You don't want to look like you're falling behind. You don't want to look poor. So you sign the contract. Another $40 a month tacked onto the pile. You don't even feel it anymore. It's just another drip, drip, drip from your life force into their reservoir. You drive home. You are exhausted. You have nothing left to give to your spouse, your kids, or your passions. You are a husk. I'm too tired to cook, you say. So you order Uber Eats. You pay a delivery fee. You pay a service fee. You pay a tip. You are paying a premium for the privilege of being too tired to function. You sit on the couch. You turn on the streaming service. You watch a show about rich people having problems. You verify that your subscription is active. You have successfully completed another day as a unit of economic production and consumption. You earned the money. You spent the money. You saved nothing. You built nothing. You own nothing. But you were a good citizen. And tomorrow, the alarm will ring, and you will do it all over again, because the script says you have to. Walk into your office building. Look at the directory on the wall. Find the department usually tucked away on the second floor or in the basement. Human resources. Stop, read that again. Human resources. You've seen those words 1,000 times. You've probably walked into that office to sign your contract or complain about your benefits. But have you ever actually thought about what those two words mean when you put them together? Coal is a resource. You burn it to make energy. Timber is a resource. You cut it down to build structures. Livestock is a resource. You fatten it up to feed the population. And you are a human resource. You are not a person to them. You are a battery. You are a unit of potential energy to be extracted, processed, and discarded when your voltage drops. This isn't a metaphor. This is the literal accounting term for your existence within the financial matrix. And here is the gut punch realization you've been avoiding. To everyone else in this equation, you are an asset. To yourself, you have become a liability. Let's look at the balance sheet. To your employer, you are a profit center. They pay you X, and they extract 3X, 5X, or 10X in value from your labor. If that math ever flips, if you ever cost more than you produce, you are deleted. Instantly. It's just business, they'll say as they hand you the cardboard box. To the bank, you are a golden goose. Your mortgage, your car note, your credit card debt, that is their asset. Your debt is their income. They list your red ink as their black ink. They need you to stay in debt. If you paid everything off tomorrow, you would be useless to them. You would be a deadbeat. That's the industry term for someone who pays their credit card in full every month. They hate you for it. To the social media apps on your phone, You are the product. Your attention is the oil, and they are fracking your mind every time you scroll. They sell your eyeballs to advertisers who want to sell you things you don't need. But look at the you column. What are you to yourself? You are a cost center. You require maintenance. You require food, shelter, healthcare, therapy, vacations to recover from the work. You are constantly spending money just to keep the machine running. You are a liability. You are bleeding cash, bleeding time, bleeding sanity. And the system is designed to keep it that way. Why? Because happy people don't consume. If you were truly content, if you woke up tomorrow morning feeling complete, secure, and at peace, the economy would collapse. Think about it. If you liked how you looked, the billion-dollar beauty and fashion industries would vanish. If you felt secure in your status, the luxury car market would implode. If you were happy with your home, the renovation and real estate churning would stop. If you weren't exhausted, the fast food and convenience industries would die. The financial matrix needs you to feel incomplete. It needs you to feel like a liability. It needs that hole in your soul to be just wide enough that you try to fill it with stuff. You buy the expensive watch not to tell time. Your phone does that. You buy it to tell people that you are valuable. You are trying to purchase respect. You are trying to purchase a feeling of worthiness. But the matrix is smart. It sells you the cure for the disease it gave you. It works you until you are exhausted. Then it sells you convenience. Too tired to cook? Order this. Too stressed to sleep? Take this pill. Too depressed to function? Book this escape. You are paying a tax on your own misery. You are working a job that gives you anxiety to pay for the medication to treat the anxiety, so you can keep working the job. It is the perfect closed loop, a perpetual motion machine of human suffering converted into shareholder value. And you think you're the customer. You think you're the king because the customer is always right. Wake up, you are the livestock. The feed you buy is just to keep you fat enough for the slaughter. Every time you scroll, every time you swipe your card for a dopamine hit, every time you upgrade your lifestyle to match your neighbor, you are signaling to the matrix. I am still plugged in. I am still a resource. Keep extracting. You have monetized your own destruction. You have turned your life into a strip mine, and you are handing the shovel to the people robbing you. And deep down, when you look at that pile of assets, the car, the clothes, the gadgets, you know the truth. They own you. You don't own them. You are the caretaker of your own cage. Ding! Your phone screen lights up. You know that notification. You've been waiting for it for 14 days. You've been checking your banking app since Tuesday, watching the balance dwindle down to double digits, sweating every time you swiped your debit card for a coffee. Direct deposit, $2,841.52. And just like that, you exhale. The tightness in your chest loosens. The knot in your stomach uncoils. You feel a wash of chemical relief flood your brain. You are safe. You survived another cycle. You can pay the rent. You can buy the groceries. You can breathe. For about 6 hours. This isn't economics. This is biology. Specifically, this is behavioral psychology at its most primal. In the 1930s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner put rats in a box. He installed a lever. When the rat pressed the lever, a food pellet dropped. The rat learned quickly, press lever, get pellet, press lever, get pellet. But then Skinner changed the game. He made the lever harder to press. He added shocks. He made the environment stressful. But as long as that pellet dropped on a predictable schedule, the rat would endure anything. The rat would tolerate the shocks, the confinement, the boredom, and the stress, just for that moment of guaranteed consumption. Look at your life. Your cubicle is the box. Your keyboard is the lever. Your paycheck is the pellet. And you are the rat. The financial matrix operates on what psychologists call a fixed interval schedule. You know exactly when the reward is coming, every 2 weeks, or on the 15th and the 30th. This predictability is the most dangerous drug on earth. Heroin destroys your body, but a steady paycheck destroys your soul. Why? Because it removes the necessity of the hunt. In the wild, if a wolf doesn't hunt, it starves. The hunger makes it sharp. The hunger makes it creative. The hunger forces it to take risks, to explore new territory, to become stronger. But you don't have to hunt. You just have to wait. You just have to show up, sit in the chair, endure the meetings, tolerate the disrespect, and wait for the pellet. The paycheck sedates your ambition. It creates a ceiling on your potential. You stop looking for opportunities because you are too busy watching the clock, waiting for the release. And here is the cruelest part of the trick. The pellet is designed to be exactly the size of your hunger. Watch what happens to that money. It hits your account on Friday morning. By Monday, it's gone. Automatic transfer to the mortgage, the box you sleep in. Automatic transfer to the car loan, the machine that takes you to the lever. Automatic transfer to the credit card, the interest you pay on pellets you ate last month. Utility bills, insurance, subscriptions. It vanishes. It flows through your hands like water. You aren't building wealth. You are a pass-through entity. You are a conduit for currency to flow from your employer back to the banks and corporations that own the infrastructure of your life. You keep maybe 5%, 10%, just enough to buy a few beers, a dinner out, a new video game, just enough fun money to make you feel like you have a life, just enough to keep you pacified until the next lever press. This is operant conditioning. The system is training you. It punishes you for independence, instability, risk, fear, and rewards you for compliance, safety, predictability, pellets. You say, I can't leave my job. I need the security. Wrong. There is no security. If the company misses a quarterly target, you are gone. If the algorithm decides your role is redundant, you are gone. The pellet dispenser can be turned off at any moment by a stranger in a boardroom 3,000 miles away. You don't have security. You have dependency. And that dependency creates a learned helplessness. You start to believe that you cannot survive without the dispenser. You look at the wild, at entrepreneurship, at freelancing, at building your own equity, and it looks terrifying. It looks like starvation. So you stay in the box. You press the lever. You complain about the work. You hate the boss. You dread the Monday morning alarm. But you never, ever stop pressing. Because the matrix has hacked your dopamine receptors. It has taught you that the only way to survive is to submit. You are trading your limited time on this earth for a bi-weekly permission slip to keep existing. And every time you hear that ding, every time you feel that wave of relief, the cage gets a little bit stronger. You're at a dinner party, or maybe you're just scrolling through Instagram on a Tuesday night. You see it. A friend just bought a new house, not a starter home, a forever home, quartz countertops, 3-car garage, the works. Another friend just posted a picture from the first-class lounge in Dubai, champagne, flute in hand. The caption says something humble bragging like, grateful for the grind. And suddenly, you feel it. A physical drop in your stomach, a cold flush of heat up your neck. It's not jealousy, that's too simple. It's something far more dangerous. It is status anxiety. It is the sudden, terrifying suspicion that you are falling behind, that you are losing the game, that everyone else has figured out the secret code to life, and you are still stuck in the tutorial level. You look at your own car. Suddenly, it looks like a piece of junk. You look at your own apartment. Suddenly, it feels like a closet. You look at your own clothes. Suddenly, they look cheap. 10 minutes ago, you were fine. You were content. But now, the Matrix has activated your insecurity algorithm. So what do? You don't invest. You don't save. You don't build. You signal. You go out and buy something you can't afford to project an image you can't sustain. You upgrade the lease. You buy the designer bag with the logo plastered all over it. Because what's the point of spending $2,000 on a bag if no one knows it cost $2,000? You are engaging in conspicuous consumption. But here is the dark psychology behind it. You aren't buying the object. You are buying the defense against feeling insignificant. The financial matrix knows this. It knows that your ego is your weak point. It knows that as a social primate, your deepest fear is exclusion. In the wild, if the tribe rejected you, you died. In the modern world, if the tribe thinks you're poor, you feel like you're dying. So marketing doesn't sell you features. It sells you status. It doesn't say, this car gets good gas mileage. It says, if you drive this car, people will know you are important. If you drive this car, you have arrived. And you fall for it. You enter the keeping up trap. But you aren't just keeping up with the Joneses anymore. You are keeping up with the Kardashians. You are keeping up with strangers on the internet who are renting Lamborghinis for photo shoots to sell you courses on how to get rich. You are competing against ghosts. And the cost of this competition is your life. Think about the math of your ego. You buy the $60,000 truck to impress the guys at the job site. You buy the $80,000 wedding to impress your cousins. You buy the $500 bottle of service at the club to impress girls who don't know your last name. You are lighting your future on fire to keep yourself warm with the validation of others. But here is the uncomfortable truth that destroys this entire dynamic. Nobody cares. This is called the spotlight effect. You think everyone is looking at you. You think they are analyzing your shoes, your car, your watch. You think you are the main character in their movie. You aren't. You are an extra in the background of their scene. When people see you driving a Ferrari, they don't think, wow, that guy is cool. They think, wow, I would look so cool in that Ferrari. They don't admire you. They use you as a mirror to reflect their own desires. They simply gaze at your stuff and imagine themselves owning it. You are invisible. You are just a mannequin displaying the merchandise they want. So you are going into debt, working overtime, stressing your heart out, and destroying your nervous system to impress people who don't like you, don't care about you, are too busy worrying about their own status to notice yours. You are performing a play for an empty theater. The financial matrix loves this. It loves that you are insecure. It loves that you need external validation. Because an insecure population is a profitable population. A confident person, someone who knows their value isn't in their wrist, is a nightmare for the economy. They don't buy things they don't need. But you are the perfect consumer. You are trying to fill a spiritual hole with material goods. You are trying to silence the voice that says, I am not enough, with the swipe of a credit card. And the tragedy is, the moment you buy the thing, the feeling fades. The dopamine hit wears off. The anxiety returns. So you have to buy something else. Bigger, shinier, more expensive. You are trapped in a cycle of weaponized inadequacy. And as long as you believe that your net worth is tied to your self-worth, you will never, ever be free. You will be a slave to the opinion of strangers until the day you die. Open your banking app again. Scroll down, past the big transactions. Look at the little ones. $14.99, $9.99, $4.99, $29.99. It looks like pocket change. It looks like coffee money. But add it up. Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, the gym you don't go to, the cloud storage for the photos you never look at, the software license for your laptop, the premium delivery service so you don't have to wait 2 days for toothpaste. This is the subscription existence. This is the first deep dive into the mechanics of the cage. 50 years ago, if you wanted something, you saved up money, you bought it, and you owned it. It was yours. If you lost your job the next day, you still had the thing. You had equity. You had assets. Today, you own nothing. You are renting your life. The financial matrix has realized that selling you a product once is a terrible business model. If they sell you a DVD for $20, they get $20. But if they sell you access to a library of movies for $15 a month, they own you forever. They have shifted the entire global economy from ownership to usership. And you fell for it. Why? Because the entry price is low. It's only $10 a month, you say. But do the math on your life. You are paying for music you don't own. If you stop paying Spotify, your library vanishes. You are paying for software you don't own. If you stop paying Microsoft or Adobe, your work files become locked. You are paying for storage you don't own. If you stop paying Apple or Google, your memories are held hostage. You are a digital serf. You are working the land, but you don't own the farm. You are simply paying a tithe to the lords of the cloud for the privilege of existing in their ecosystem. But it goes deeper than digital. Look at your car, leased, or maybe a 72-month loan that is effectively a rental because you'll trade it in before you ever pay it off. Look at your phone. You're probably on the upgrade program, right? You pay a monthly fee to always have the new device, but you never actually own the device. You just rent the latest model until they tell you to switch. This is the death of equity. When you own things, you build a foundation. You have resources you can sell in a crisis. You have stability. When you subscribe to things, you have obligations. You are building a lifestyle that requires a constant, uninterrupted flow of cash just to maintain baseline functionality. If you lose your income tomorrow, how long until your life turns off? 1 month, 2. The screen goes black, the music stops, the car gets repossessed, the cloud locks you out, the gym pass is revoked, the food delivery stops. You haven't built a life. You have built a dependency stack. The Matrix loves subscriptions. Wall Street loves ARR, annual recurring revenue. That's you. You are the recurring revenue. You are a predictable, harvestable crop. They know exactly how much they can milk from you every month, and they know you are too lazy or too addicted to cancel. I'll watch that show eventually. I might go to the gym next week. I need the cloud storage, or I'll lose my photos. They have you by the throat. And the genius of it is the psychological hiding mechanism. A $1,000 bill hurts. You feel it. You question it. A $19.99 charge slips under the radar. It triggers no pain receptors. It bypasses your financial immune system. But 1,000 cuts will bleed you dry, just as fast as a single stab wound. You look at your bank account and wonder, where did it all go? It went to the service economy. It went to the access economy. It went to the lie that convenience is better than ownership. You are paying a premium to be a guest in your own reality. And the moment you stop paying the rent, the landlord kicks you out. This is how they keep you on the treadmill. If you owned your stuff, you could theoretically step off. You could say, I have enough. I'm done buying. But you can't say, I'm done subscribing. The bill comes every 30 days forever. Until you die. And even then, your estate will probably have to cancel the auto-renewal. Remember the day you got your first real paycheck? Maybe it was $2,000, maybe $3,000. You looked at that number and thought, if I ever made $5,000 a month, I'd be rich. I'd save everything. I'd be free. Fast forward to today. You are making that money. Maybe you're making double that. Maybe you're pulling in 6 figures. You are statistically in the top tier of earners on the planet. So where is the money? Open your savings account. It's empty. Or maybe it has 2 months of expenses in it, just enough to keep the panic at bay, but not enough to walk away. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is the single most effective way the financial matrix keeps high performers enslaved. Here is the mechanism, Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. In finance, it's expenses rise to meet income. You get a $10,000 raise. Logically, you should have $10,000 more in the bank at the end of the year. Psychologically, you have $0. Why? Because the moment your income creates a gap, your brain invents a need to fill it. I can't drive the Honda anymore. I'm a manager now. Clients see my car. I need the Audi. I can't live in this neighborhood. It's not safe. I need the gated community. I can't drink Folgers. I need the $28 bag of single origin beans. You don't just spend the money. You upgrade your baseline. This is the hedonic treadmill. It works like this. You buy the new thing, your happiness spikes. For about 3 weeks, you love the leather seats in the Audi. You love the granite countertops. Then your brain adapts. The luxury becomes normal. The extraordinary becomes invisible. You stop noticing the leather seats. You stop noticing the view. You return to your set point of happiness. You are exactly as miserable as you were when you were broke. But now you have a $900 car payment and a $3,500 mortgage. You haven't bought happiness. You have bought overhead. Think about the trap you've built. When you were 22, you could survive on ramen and a roommate. If you lost your job, you could crash on a couch. You were flexible. You were dangerous because you had nothing to lose. Now you have golden handcuffs. You cannot lose your job. You cannot take a risk. You cannot start a business. Why? Because your burn rate is $8,000 a month. You have built a life that requires a massive, uninterrupted injection of capital just to stay at zero. The Matrix loves this. It loves when you upgrade. It loves when you move into the bigger house. Because the bigger house needs more furniture. It needs more heating. It needs a landscaper. It needs higher property taxes. Every time you upgrade your lifestyle, you are tightening the bolts on your own cage. You tell yourself, I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for comfort. Bullshit. You are doing this because you are terrified of being perceived as stagnant. You are doing this because the script says, if you make more, you must spend more. And here is the darkest part. You are actually poorer now than you were then. Wealth is not income. Wealth is the gap between your income and your ego. If you make $200,000 a year and spend $200,000 a year, you are broke. You are living paycheck to paycheck with better scenery. You are one bad medical diagnosis, one corporate merger, or one recession away from total collapse. The janitor who makes $40,000 and saves $10,000 is richer than you. He has freedom. You have a lease. You are running on a treadmill that is speeding up, and you are sprinting just to keep from flying off the back. You are exhausted. You are looking at the numbers and screaming, I make too much money to be this stressed. But you are, because you let the matrix convince you that success looks like owning things, when real success looks like owning your time. You traded your freedom for a heated steering wheel. And every morning, when you walk out to that car you can't afford to lose, to drive to that job you can't afford to quit, the matrix smiles. You are exactly where they want you. You are sitting in a conference room, or maybe you're on a Zoom call with a financial advisor. They pull up a chart. A line goes up and to the right. It's beautiful, it's smooth, it's comforting. If you contribute just 15% of your income, they say, by the time you are 65, you will be a millionaire. You will have freedom. You will be able to travel. You will be able to do whatever you want. You nod, you feel safe. You sign the paper. You lock away that money every month. You deny yourself experiences today. You skip the trip with your friends. You don't buy the thing that would spark joy right now. I am being responsible, you tell yourself. I am saving for the golden years. Stop. This is the retirement lie. And it is the greatest con ever perpetrated on the working class. The financial matrix has sold you a contract that says, give us your best years, and we will let you buy back your worst years. Think about the trade you are making. Right now, you are in your prime. Your legs work, your back doesn't hurt, your energy is high, your mind is sharp. You can climb a mountain, you can dance all night, you can eat spicy food without regret, you can sleep on a hostel floor and wake up laughing. This is your peak asset, vitality. And what are you doing with it? You are selling it. You are trading it for numbers on a screen that you cannot touch for 40 years. You are betting your entire existence on a future that is not guaranteed. You are assuming you will live to 65. You are assuming you will be healthy at 65. You are assuming the economy won't collapse by the time you are 65. You are assuming the rules won't change. But walk into a nursing home. Go look at the golden years. What do you see? You don't see people jet skiing in the Caribbean. You don't see people hiking the Andes. You see people managing pain. You see people scheduling doctor appointments. You see people who are too tired to travel, too frail to explore, and too disconnected to enjoy the culture. They have the money. The $1 million is in the bank. The chart worked. But they can't spend it, not in the way they dreamed. They can buy a nicer wheelchair. They can buy a private room in the facility. They can buy the premium cable package. Is that what you are suffering for? Is that the prize you are sacrificing your youth to win? The financial matrix needs you to believe in the deferred life plan. Why? Because if you realized that your time is the only non-renewable resource, you would quit. You would demand more now. You would take the mini-retirement now. You would prioritize living over hoarding. But a workforce that prioritizes living is a nightmare for the economy. They need you to keep your head down. They need you to keep the carrot dangling in front of your own face. Just 5 more years, just 10 more years, then I'll be happy. It is the psychology of the donkey and the cart. You are pulling the heavy load, staring at a picture of a pasture you will never reach until you are too broken to graze. And look at the math of inflation. The dollar you save today, the dollar that cost you sweat and stress, will be worth maybe 40 cents when you finally get to spend it. You are working hard to store ice cubes in a desert, hoping they'll still be frozen in 30 years. But the real tragedy isn't the money. It's the person you become while you wait. You spend 40 years training yourself to be a worker. You spend 40 years delaying gratification. You spend 40 years saying no to your impulses. When you finally retire, you don't know how to be free. You've seen it. The retiree who wanders around the house, bored, checking the stock market, waiting for lunch. They don't know who they are without the job. They don't know how to play. They forgot. The muscle of living has atrophied. They spent a lifetime building a cage of security, and when the door finally opens, they are too scared to fly. You are not promised tomorrow. Your friend died at 40. Your coworker had a stroke at 52. The guy down the street got cancer at 35. Did their 401k save them? Did their responsible planning give them back the days they spent in a cubicle under fluorescent lights? No. The money stayed in the bank. The life was gone. You are trading diamonds for dust. You are trading the visceral, electric reality of your youth for a comfortable waiting room for death. And the Matrix applauds your prudence. Good job, it says. Keep working, keep saving. Someday you'll be free. Someday is a lie. There is only now, and you are selling it for a discount. Walk into the bathroom, close the door, turn on the harsh light. Look in the mirror. Look at the person staring back at you. For 8 acts, we have talked about the system. We have talked about the banks, the corporations, the advertisers, the boss, the economy. We have painted a picture of a massive, complex machine designed to extract your life force. But here is the most uncomfortable truth of all, the truth you have been suppressing since Act I. There are no guards. There are no fences. There are no chains. The door to the cage is unlocked. It has been unlocked the entire time. You are not a prisoner of the financial matrix because they are forcing you. You are a prisoner because you prefer the cage. This is the elephant rope syndrome. When a baby elephant is trained, they tie its leg to a heavy post. It pulls and pulls, but it's too weak to break free. It learns, I am stuck. When that elephant grows up, it weighs 5 tons. It could snap the rope like a thread. It could tear the post out of the ground effortlessly. But the trainer just ties it to a plastic chair. And the elephant stays. It doesn't stay because of physics. It stays because of psychology. It stays because its belief in its own limitation is stronger than its actual power. You are that elephant. You say, I can't quit. I have a mortgage. Who signed the mortgage? You did. You say, I can't leave. I have car payments. Who bought the car? You did. You say, I have to maintain this lifestyle. Who chose this lifestyle? You did. You are the architect of your own prison. You laid every brick. You forged every bar. You signed every contract that binds you. And why? Because the alternative is terrifying. Freedom is terrifying. If you walk out that door, if you stop playing the game, if you stop chasing the status and the security, you have to face the unknown. You have to face the possibility of failure. You have to face the judgment of the herd. So you choose comfortable slavery over dangerous liberty. The Matrix knows this. It knows that humans are risk-averse. It knows that we will endure a lifetime of low-level misery just to avoid a moment of acute uncertainty. It offers you a soft sell. Here is Netflix, it says. Here is DoorDash. Here is a heated seat. Here is a 2-week vacation once a year. Just stay in the box. And you say, okay, this isn't so surely bad. At least I know where my next meal is coming from. You have become institutionalized. Like the prisoner in the Shawshank Redemption, you have been inside so long that you don't think you can function on the outside. You have forgotten how to hunt. You have forgotten how to build. You have forgotten how to trust your own ability to survive without a corporate umbilical cord. You are the warden of your own life. Every morning, you have a choice. Option A, wake up, execute the script, stay safe, die slowly. Option B, wake up, break the script, risk everything, live truly. And every morning, you choose option A. You choose it because you are addicted to certainty. You choose it because you are afraid of who you might be if you didn't have your job title to define you. You choose it because deep down, you don't think you are capable of anything else. That voice in your head, the one that says, be realistic, the one that says, don't rock the boat. That isn't wisdom. That is fear dressed up as logic. And the Matrix weaponizes that fear. It whispers, if you leave, you will starve. If you change, you will fail. If you stop buying, you will be alone. It is a lie. People leave every day. People downsize. People start businesses. People move to cheaper cities. People sell the big house and buy a van. People choose time over money. And they don't die. They wake up. Their eyes brighten. Their stress vanishes. They rediscover the taste of food and the sound of laughter. But you look at them and say, that's crazy. I could never do that. Could never, or will never. Be honest with yourself in that mirror. You are staying because you are scared. You are staying because the pain of the cage is familiar and the pain of change is new. You are waiting for someone to come and save you. You are waiting for permission. You are waiting for the right time. There is no savior. There is no permission slip. The time will never be right. You are holding the key in your hand. You have been holding it for 20 years. The only thing stopping you from turning it is the terrifying realization that if you are free, you have no one else to blame for your life but yourself. As long as you are a victim of the system, you are innocent. The moment you break free, you are responsible. And that responsibility is heavier than any chain. Here is the fork in the road. You have spent the last 30 minutes staring into the abyss of your own financial reality. You have seen the alarm clock for what it is. You have seen the subscription traps. You have seen the status games. You have admitted that you are running on a treadmill designed by people who profit from your exhaustion. Now you have a choice. Option A, the blue pill. You close this video, you tell yourself, that was interesting, and you go back to sleep. You wake up tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. You drink the coffee, you drive the car, you sit in the meeting, you wait for the weekend. You buy the new phone when it comes out. You upgrade the kitchen in 5 years. You pray for retirement. You hope the economy holds together. You stay comfortable. You stay safe. You stay a battery. And one day you will wake up and you will be 80 years old. You will look back at your life, a blur of commutes, spreadsheets, and television screens, and you will wonder where the time went. You will realize you traded your one wild and precious life for a collection of receipts. Option B, the red pill. You wake up right now. You accept the single, dangerous truth that destroys the financial matrix. Wealth is not a number. Wealth is the absence of obligation. The moment you realize this, the cage dissolves. The Matrix wants you to believe that rich means a yacht. It wants you to believe rich means a mansion. Why? Because you have to work yourself to death to get those things. You have to stay plugged in. But what if rich is just time? What if rich is waking up on a Tuesday with no alarm clock? What if rich is having 6 months of expenses in the bank, so when your boss disrespects you, you can look them in the eye and say, no? What if rich is driving a 10-year-old car that you own, instead of a brand new car that owns you? This is the red pill of value. It requires you to become a financial heretic. You have to stop playing the status game. You have to stop caring what your neighbors think. You have to stop measuring your worth by the logo on your chest. You have to embrace the power of enough. Enough is the enemy of the system. If you have enough, they can't sell you the upgrade. If you have enough, they can't threaten you with poverty. If you have enough, you are free. So here is your exit strategy. It isn't a stock tip. It isn't a crypto scheme. It is a psychological revolution. 1. Conduct a ruthless audit. Look at every dollar that leaves your account. Ask, is this buying me freedom or is this buying me chains? If it's a subscription you don't use, kill it. If it's a car payment that suffocates you, sell it. If it's a house that requires 2 incomes to maintain, downsize it. Stop bleeding. 2. Buy your time back. Stop saving for a retirement you might not live to see. Start saving for a F***CK you fund. Save enough money that you can walk away from a toxic job tomorrow. The moment you have that money in the bank, your posture changes. Your voice changes. You stop acting like a servant and start acting like a free agent. 3. Create. Don't just consume. The Matrix trains you to be a consumer. Break the cycle. Build something, a side hustle, a skill, an investment portfolio. Ownership is the only escape. You cannot consume your way to freedom. You have to build equity in your own name. 4. Reject the script. When your friends ask why you aren't upgrading, tell them the truth. I'm buying my life back. When society tells you that you are falling behind, laugh. You aren't falling behind. You are stepping off the track. You are playing a different game entirely. This path is lonely. Your friends won't understand. Your family might think you're crazy. You will drive a worse car than your peers. You will wear older clothes. You will have a smaller TV. But on a random Wednesday morning, while they are sitting in traffic, clutching the steering wheel, stressing about a meeting they hate, you will be drinking coffee on your porch. You will be playing with your kids. You will be reading a book. You will be breathing air that tastes like freedom. You will realize that while they were buying things, you were buying life. The door is open. The guards are gone. The script is burning. You are going to die one day. That is the only guarantee you have. The question is not how much money you will leave behind. The question is, will you die as a battery for the machine, or will you die as a free man who owned his own time? The alarm is set for tomorrow morning. What are you going to do when it rings?